Hongfei.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Wonderful. Okay. All right. We could be doing this privately. Okay. We got an audience here. Okay. All right. So I've been. Okay. So let me try to bridge.
You sure you don't want to sit down?
All I did was I was telling everybody first about what's been happening in the lab here. We started working on our blockchain lab a few months ago, and it's just kind of getting formally announced. And I was letting people know about Steve.
A course already at the lab. Plus the new story.
And then we can socialize.
Socialize. Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Yeah.
Thanks everybody. I'm very excited to be here with all the professors, researchers, students, the top talents of the world. Yeah, and you guys are so into engineering, so no wonder you love blockchain, love crypto, right? I think blockchain is such a beautiful thing that combines a lot of things together, including technique, including economics, and even about politics, right? You guys know the fork of Bitcoin. There is even a new word called IFO. Does anybody know what an IFO is? Maybe not. ICO, you know ICO? Initial coin offering. And now we have IFO, initial fork offering. They fork Bitcoin into Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Cash, and now Bitcoin Diamond. I don't know, maybe Bitcoin Plastic or maybe Bitcoin whatever. Yeah. So it's a very interesting industry. Yeah. We started NEO quite early in 2015 in China. I think we are just a few months behind Ethereum. So we're not the second, we're not the earliest, but we are one of the earliest blockchain projects. We started as a blockchain to do crowdfunding. I spoke at the first Chinese Bitcoin conference in Beijing. The title is a DAO, a DAO, Decentralized Autonomous Organization for Crowdfunding. So ICO basically is a kind of crowdfunding with tokens. So at first we're aiming to tap into the crowdfunding blockchain, and then we had our first seed round funding. It's only about $80,000 US, a very small amount of money. And a small portion of that is coming out of my own pocket. And then we got our first ICO 1 in 2015, and we got 2,010 Bitcoins. That's a lot of money, right? But at that time, one Bitcoin only worth a few hundred US dollars. So it's not so big. It's only 600,000 US dollars. You can buy a decent car with that money, but not that much. And then we do our second ICO 2 last year, 2016, and we got roughly a little bit of over 4 million US dollars. At that time, it's good money, and we think it's already enough for us to develop NEO. But you know, this year, all the ICO, it's so huge. There are hundreds of millions US dollars got raised. But NEO is quite different. We did 3 times of fundraising. It's more like traditional fundraising method. When we about hit some milestone, we do a new fundraising. So we have passed that period. That period. We're done. We're not doing any fundraising anymore. The difference of NEO and other blockchain, especially the governance model, is that we reserved a lot of tokens. We reserved 50% of the tokens. That worth a lot. That's a wealth today. It's about 1.5 or maybe 1.8 billion US dollars. So we are managing a lot of money. We can use that token, that money, to help the ecosystem to grow, to incentivize those developers and marketers who helped NEO to grow. So that is quite different from other projects. There are more like no particular organization behind it. And there are many technical differences between NEO and other smart contract platforms. We have our own consensus mechanism. We have our own token system. There are 2 tokens in NEO. One is called NEO, and another is called GAS. We are the first in the world having a dual token system. And we have different economic models. Users do not pay for transaction fees. Instead, the business or the developers who deploy the smart contract pay for the transaction fees. It's more similar to how internet works. The users are using internet basically for free, but the business are paying the users. So that is NEO, and we are very excited to reach a agreement with engineering college, and we would like to support research and development of blockchain protocols or maybe theory research. So I'm here today to. I'm very glad to be here, and because we will work with you guys in the future. Yeah. So thank you. Thanks everybody. Yeah.
Questions as possible, or otherwise we can also just socialize.
Okay.
Can you talk about some typical use case?
Typical use case. There is, I think, the killer app of public blockchain for the past 2 or 3 years is ICO and trading. Yeah, there are many decentralized, so-called dApps, decentralized applications, but it's still not really being used a lot. There are many dApps on Ethereum. Their tokens are traded on different exchanges, but I seldom meet anyone really using those dApps. So we are seeing NEO. The design philosophy of NEO is quite different from Ethereum. We would like to serve for the real economy, to connect the physical world with the blockchain world. So we have a new project. It's called Ontology. Ontology is a separate blockchain to do decentralized identity and distributed data and trust. So I think Ontology can work as a buffer zone or as a connector to connect conventional systems with NEO, the permissionless open network. It's very difficult to convince all the serious business to put their data on the permissionless public blockchain. You can imagine a bank, maybe Bank of America, to put their user data, even if it's encrypted, onto Ethereum or Bitcoin blockchain. So we designed Ontology, a network of blockchains, so that all these financial institutions can build their own private or consulting blockchain. They put their data on the consulting private blockchain, and then those blockchains can be linked to NEO or other public blockchains. So those separate, like intranet, can be linked with a protocol like TCP/IP and to form a unified internet.
Can you talk about NEOX and atomic swaps?
Yeah, atomic swap is a long existence protocol. So you can, if there is 2 blockchains, A in blockchain 1 can pay B with the token, native token in blockchain 1, and then there is atomically B can pay A on blockchain 2. So they're doing the asset swap. But NEOX is quite different. We are doing what we call is consistent transaction. So that means you can divide a smart contract into maybe 2 or several parts, and each part or several steps, and each step can be run on different blockchains. So all the steps, they either all succeed or they all failed. That means if you perform step 1 on blockchain A, and then we perform step 2 on blockchain B, if the step 2 failed, then on blockchain 1, the step 1 on blockchain A, the step 1 can be reversed. So that's NEOX. That means you can move tokens from one blockchain to another one. Like you can move Ether on Ethereum into a new blockchain. Yeah.
And so, as per NEOX is concerned, are there any tokens that you're supporting with conversion, just like Ethereum and NEO, right?
Yeah. There is an upcoming project called NEX. It's called NEO Exchange. It's a DEX or decentralized exchange. So if you want to trade NEO versus Ethereum, it's impossible with today's technology. But if we can implement NEO-X, then we can move Ether from Ethereum to NEO blockchain, and then we can do NEO versus Ether exchange. Yeah, thank you.
Is Red Pulse a NEO project? And except for Red Pulse, what are the other noticeable NEO projects that are outstanding out there?
Okay.
And if you can talk about like NEO versus Quantum.
NEO versus Quantum, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Red Pulse is the first ICO on NEO.
Okay.
And they successfully raised $15 million in I think 68 minutes. That's because the first hour they have a cap. Everybody cannot invest more than $1,000. And for second hour, they have a cap of $10,000. And then the third hour is limitless, but it never goes to the step 3. Only 8 minutes into the second hour, they got fully funded.
Yeah.
So that's the first ICO happened on NEO. And there are 6 projects coming with us this time. We did a launch event of Ontology and the NEO ecosystem meetup in New York last week. There are 6 more projects. One of them is NEX, I just said, and there are other projects like Q-Link. It's decentralized mesh network. And there are projects like the Key, an identity system, and there are projects like Peer Atlas. It's for medical research. So I expect 5 or 6 more projects coming in the next few months. Yeah. And comparing to Quantum, we're quite different because Quantum use EVM. They use Ethereum, the Ethereum smart contract system. And I believe NEO is the only other smart contract system that is working today. So basically Qtum is part of the Ethereum ecosystem, and we have our independent smart contract system.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.